I'm an independent this, I'm an independent that. But the truth is, we ain't never been independent. We've always been interdependent. Opportunity ain't looking for nobody. Opportunity is something you find when you go searching. And in the process of looking, you come across a door and a window, an opportunity. You'll never find an opportunity sitting on the couch. Stop telling people they need to improve their life while your life ain't improved. Stop telling people they need to do something different when you're still doing the same thing. Make today be the last day that you ever break a promise to self.
I stopped and I started listening to Jim Rohn. I stopped praying for things to get better, right? I was to start praying for me to be better.
We turn protection into power.
My brother, my brother, my brother, my brother. You know, sometimes you have to say things multiple times. I mean that in every sense. Brother feels like same mother, mentor, protector. I'll let you kind of share the rest, man. I am extremely excited about this week's podcast. It's with my brother, Jamal. He is the definition of resilience. I can't wait to get into it. And we know what we do here. We hop right into it. So we have you on. I'm excited. You guys know I'm excited about this. Tell us from the start, who is Jamal? That's the first thing I love to ask. I want to know who you are. Tell me who Jamal is.
Hey, good morning, my brother. Love you.
Love you too, brother.
If I had to simplify it in one word, I would say walking grace. Jamal is walking grace. Individual who has a lot of life living and experience and testimonial things. But to exemplify it, I'm walking grace. That simply means is that everything and anything that I've went through, endured, obtained is all in the level of grace. Many people that walk the walk that I walk aren't here to talk about it. So that is why I know that grace is the evidence of who I am.
Love it. You start giving answers like this, man. We might have you on every week. I love it. I love it. I love it. What was the lowest point of your life and what did it teach you?
I'll say the lowest point, if I can pinpoint, it was many lows, but the lowest point was the day that I decided to leave home, which was at age 12. That was the lowest point because that was the most life-changing decision that I made in my life.
Wow.
And it catapulted my life to experience what my life experienced. The decision to be on this side of life now wasn't my decision. It was a decision given by grace. My decision was I left home at 12. That was the lowest point. And most people would say, why would 12 be the lowest point? And if it's all rooted in being naive, there's nothing more traumatic than making a major decision from the perspective of naiveness. For you'll think that you're making a decision that would fit perfect for you, but results are catastrophic. This is why grace is my life, because the decision itself was catastrophic. And it lasted for a period of 31 years. So the Jamal of today started at age 43. So I think that was the lowest point, lack of understanding.
So listening to you, me and you have more in common than can even imagine, right? I never want to deviate because the spotlight is on you, but I definitely want to share because me and you have more. We just became extremely closer, if that's even possible. At 12 years old was the lowest point of my life, and I discovered myself and I unmasked myself at the age of around 40. So now you understand how we are so in line. I love it, appreciate it. Thank you for sharing. What is the biggest lie people tell themselves that keep them stuck?
That one is real simple. It's simple, but it missed so many people's lives. The biggest lie a person could ever tell himself is that they independent. That is the most lie that we live life with, and you hear it in a plethora in every asset or every aspect. People love to shout the words, I'm independent, I'm an independent this, I'm an independent that. But the truth is we ain't never been independent. We've always been interdependent. dependent. We've never been an independent creation. In the scriptures, it says that God said it's not good for man to be alone. From that point on, independence was gone. Everything we do in life, every single thing that we experience in life is either dependent on someone or something. We tell ourselves that what happens is we begin to build a wall around ourselves that causes us a private isolation that at times through our lives begin to choke us out.
Keep talking. I'm like, I don't even want to go to the next question. You got me up. I love it. I love it. And because people need to hear us. And one of the reasons why I wanted to collab on this podcast with you, you are very upfront. You are very straightforward. And that's what people really need. Tell me how it is. Right? It's just full transparency. I love that about you. So let's continue going on.
Yeah, so it's a beautiful thing to know that you need something. It's a beautiful thing to know that you need something or that someone needs you. There's no greater human expression than to revolve in a need. Without a need, you really have no purpose.
And since we're being vulnerable, and I love it, you said something, and I'm not sure you're going to be able to articulate it verbatim, but I remember when I lost my grandmother, right? And that whole period of me being lost, and you was trying to tap into it, and then how once I had a child, my needs and like my whole being became better. And you broke that down. And if you could tap into that specifically for me, since we're on the subject of that, I would love to hear it. Why was I lost when I lost my grandmother? When that was my connection, that's who I felt like I was caring for. And then I didn't have that. And then I have somebody else I have to care for. I would like to hear your intake on that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Being someone, not the oldest one you know, but someone who's known you 35 years, right? We've known each other. I know the young Link, right? I know the middle-aged Link, and I know the Link of today. That one, it absolutely, the essence of your life as a young man with all the experiences, with all the early losses. See, loss leaves you absence, void, right? It's a grief space that needs to be filled. Grandma never allowed you to experience that absence. So being as a young man and experiencing so much loss as a young man, there was something that your grandmama did that allowed you to not experience the absence of loss at a young age. She filled every space. She covered you in every space after the loss, after the father loss, right? Living with grandma, right? Experiencing, knowing the other family members, the other siblings. And as a young man, who was emotional, because we all operate from our emotions as young folks. I don't care how smart we are, we make emotional decisions as young people. And grandma, the grace of your grandmother allowed you not to have to experience that. You didn't default, you evolved. She supported your evolving through that. I remember you as a young man on the right track. With that much loss and continuing to do things on the right track, you did a whole lot of things, but none of them things were from the place of anger, frustration, loss, none of those grief experiences. So that grace right there throughout your life, when she passed, took away the essence of what life was for you. I spoke to you during that time, and I recall telling you, you're looking for something to love again. We went through the roller coaster of, "Oh, bro, let's do this, let's do this." We started in insurance together. You had about a month on me, but we started together because I don't really like working for nobody because I believe we have the skills to produce anything anybody else has. And I said, man, we could do this. 2 months later, you like, bro, we done started the company. And we experienced the roller coaster because we were trying to fulfill. You were trying to fulfill a passion, a hole in the heart. When little man was born, fulfilled, you got a chance to become what your grandmother was for somebody else. Purpose, reason, that thing. that independent, that interdependent thing, which just so been blessed to be a son. You like me, you had a son in your 40s. I had my son in my 40s, my second son in my late 40s. The trajectory of my life took me away from my first son. So what you seen in me out there during those 31 years was the absence of my independence. So when we don't have that, we really look like soulless men in life. Most people try to figure this out. It's really a man walking around with no soul. This is what a hustler of many things is. He's seeking to find his soul. And that's what it looks like. So when you break that down, it's simply if we don't have that unshakable need, then we will search for it. And that may look any kind of way, but that's all it was. Your little man stopped the search, and realigned you into the purpose driven, into the no matter what.
For sure. Said, broken down, might have been exactly what you told me the first time. I couldn't remember. I remember bits and pieces of it, but hearing it from you, you hit that on the nose. This is why I love you, brother. This is why we are connected. Your words are powerful. And sometimes with me not even deep diving into all my experiences, just on the phone with you for 5-10 minutes, and the way I'm breathing, you can figure out what's going on in my life. It's just the coolest thing ever, man. So I might tell you 100 times on this podcast, I appreciate you, but I really want you to understand that. All right, cool. I'm ready. Let's go to the next question. Why do some people hear great advice but never take action?
Well, when I think of that, one of the things that, if you haven't noticed, most people don't notice about me, a question like that, I always reverted to self first so that I can get a perfect alignment of understanding. It's simply because they're hearing what they're thinking more so than what you're saying. See, when we're thinking while someone is speaking to us, we're not hearing them. We're hearing us. No matter how great the wisdom is going on, it'll never sound louder than what you sound like to yourself. Your voice will always overthrow what's being said. This is why people get bits and pieces, and this is what takes away their belief, because you have to be honest about what you believe in order to grow. In order to grow from wisdom being provided, from insight and knowledge being provided, you have to believe in what they're saying. And the only way you get a chance to believe in what somebody's saying is you got to first hear what they're saying. And if they don't hear you louder than they hear themselves, this is why you see no application. Because I've been giving wisdom throughout my whole life. Nuggets, jobs, listen. Mama, because like me, my biological dad was absent. Thank God, God sent a man in our lives that played the role, fulfilled the role, should I say. Because he was a great man. He's the only man I call father. So he was a great man, and I thank God for that. But even him couldn't keep me from leaving home, but he kept me through the streets. He was always accessible while I was in the midst of the streets, whether it be phone call or physically meeting up with him. Always gave me nuggets. Couldn't hear him because of what I'm thinking. All I'm thinking about, it's a self-centered process that we don't realize we're doing. All I'm thinking about is what I need to do, how I need to do it, what it is. And I'm looking at people like, listen, if you can't help me with where I'm trying to do right now, why you even talking to me? I'm from New York. We big on that. And what you got for me? If you ain't got nothing for me to help me with what I'm thinking, then why are we even wasting time in conversation? Which is one of the worst ways to think, and is one of the reasons why folks struggle the way they struggle. In a city that they say, if you can't make it here, you can't make it nowhere. And that's really all it is. It simply is that I can't hear you louder than I hear myself. So I'm only gonna do what I hear. And they be stuck. I laugh all the time. Me and you, we come from a great area, great neighborhood, but I laugh sometimes because I watch people try to figure out how to do the same dumb stuff, but a different way, and wonder why the results never change. I don't care if you walk down the block 27 different ways. If the block that you're walking down is full of thugs, you're going to get robbed every time you go down that block. I don't care which route you walk. It's just that simple. So that's the same with the mind. And am I really doing something new, or am I trying to find a better way to do the same thing I always been doing?
A gem. Pick that up. That's a gem. Perfect way to describe it. And sometimes I don't have answers to these questions. I don't know why we're giving you great advice and you're not utilizing it. I love that. I'm definitely going to frame that. What is the habit that changed your life the most?
Truth. Getting in the habit of being truthful. Not truthful to you or anyone else, truthful to me. Leaving the realm of denial and operating in the realm of truth. So what does truth look like to a young man who is out there chasing a nightmare? The truth is, you know you out here chasing a nightmare, Jamal, and accepting the fact that I'm pursuing death instead of trying to pretty up the behavior. No, I'm chasing death. What am I chasing? Mental death, emotional death, spiritual death, and put myself in a position for physical death by doing those things. When deliverance hit, because in deliverance, I receive truth. You said it earlier. I walk in no such thing as fantasy. I address everything from the perspective of reality of the moment. I'm never a person to say people will always be the way that they are. No, that's just how they are right now. So I deal with the right now, which is true. I deal with my right now, truth too. If something ain't happening in my life, it's because I ain't doing something. It's because I ain't doing something. Or I'm either doing what I've always been doing that kept producing nothing. So truth changed my life, and I refuse to walk in anything else because it obtained the freedom that I always said I wanted to have. What's that look like? I don't have to spend a waking moment worrying about remembering what I told somebody. I don't have to experience anything with my wife or whatever that she can ask me 15 years together. We've been married 8 years now, been together 10 and a half years. And she can ask me something from day one and I can tell her exactly what I said. And that's a nugget for any of the brothers listening to you. Don't ever think your woman's gonna forget anything you said. So make sure it's truthful. And she should make sure she speaks the truth as well. But I'm a self-developing type person. So I always focus on making sure that I'm living upright. There's two ways of life, and I want to give this to anybody, especially those that are pursuing what we pursuing. There's only two ways that you can operate life, either ill will or goodwill. Which one you gonna operate in? They both produce results. Goodwill produces freedom to enjoy your results. Ill will produces bondage to recklessly, and we've been there, listen, get a whole lot of money and recklessly go through it because you're afraid that someone else gonna get it from you. So you hurry up and spend it. And it's usually because of how you obtained it. Ill will, goodwill. That is the only way we operate in life. From a goodwill or from an ill will. Something as simple as manipulation is ill will. Something as simple as adding a lie to a story is ill will. Goodwill is simple truth. And to be truthful is to be vulnerable. And that's what most people run from. Vulnerability. But you'll never know what love in its natural essence is if you are not walking in vulnerability. You'll never know. You will always know condition. That's what your grandma showed you in her. Unconditional love is easily shared, but rarely applied. And when you experience that, and that ends, if you're not replicating that, then you will experience loss. You will be in a whirlwind, not knowing which direction is which. Because love only happens in a vulnerable state. And in the scriptures, for anyone that's a scripture, the scripture about love, because people love this. But the last line in that segment of scripture says, love celebrates when the truth wins out. So if it ain't no truth, love ain't celebrating. Ain't no love going on. It only celebrates when the truth wins out. And this is what I've learned. This is for me. This is why everything has to be true. Even the not so good things about myself, I speak truth to it. Without me speaking truth to it, I'll never approve. I would never get better if I justify it rationally. I've been through some stuff in my life. You say it all the time. Everybody going through something. The key is, are you really going through it, or are you sitting there playing poker with it? Because anything I go through, I get through.
So, yeah, I can contest to everything you just said. I'm not out of malice. I'm younger. I'm just telling people what I think they wanted to hear, not for any personal gain, just to fit in. I had abandonment issues. So father not being around, mother not being around, I wanted connection and I would do anything to get it. Right. And then that real freedom comes when you stop searching for it, when you become happy with yourself, when you unmask, when you realize it's so much easier to be yourself than it is to pretend to be anything else. That's the real freedom. So I could contest to that. I love it. I love it. All right, I got one for you. I know you're gonna like this. What's the difference between faith and wishful thinking?
Oh, that one is simple. Works. The difference is works. Wishful thinking can happen anywhere and everywhere, but produces nothing. Faith, according to the way scripture, I'm a man of God, so I believe, but according to the scriptures, it says faith is the substance of things hoped for. So the word substance itself means it has something. It holds something. Substance means that it can feel something. In the evidence of things unseen, which simply means that this substance is going to be the thing that reveals what I can't see. Wishful thinking never leaves your head. It has no application to it. So for me, that's the difference. This is why I say in the scripture, faith without works is dead. What it's really saying, if you break it down, is faith without works is wishful thinking.
Simplify. I love it.
Simple.
Nothing direct. It's simple. I love it. Put it to work. No surrender. I've been a part of both. I've been a part of hoping something happens without taking any action, and I've been a part of just without knowing that when I put in this work, it's going to happen. So I've been on both parts, and I choose works.
Time.
I choose
Every
faithful
time.
work every time. Every time. Every time. That's a no-brainer for me. Excellent. I got another one for you. I ain't gonna hold you long. I know you're a busy man. I already see you in your car. You already maneuvered out the house into your car, so that means you're shaking and moving. What do you think of destroying more dreams today? The lack of opportunity or the lack of discipline?
What I think of destroying more dreams today. I would have to go with discipline because opportunity is something that you of your own accord produce. The false belief is that people think opportunity goes around and knocks on people's doors. Opportunity ain't looking for nobody. Opportunity is something you find when you go searching. And in the process of looking, you come across a door and a window, an opportunity. You'll never find an opportunity sitting on the couch. I don't care if the greatest commercial, we on a commercial. Legacy Link is in your TV, on your TV, talking to you, telling you, like, listen, give us a call. If you do nothing, opportunity will not happen for you. So discipline, and discipline is simply making a decision and doing what's needed in the decision itself. So I give my experience. You walked it with me. When we got into the insurance field and I spoke to my God, because I always speak to my God, I said, this is the cap. Because I do a lot of things in my life as far as from the social side, the emotional side, the spiritual side, right? And all of them center around giving, providing hope, help, assistance, support, so that individuals have a chance to forge a foundation. So insurance was the final cap, the financial side, the protection side, the things and all the things that insurance afford people that I know and people that are going through stuff away. So when I got into it, I said, God, this is the one I want to do. And what did I do from that point on? I became committed to doing it. Now, you know, most people don't know, but they will get to know in my book, but I'll share it here just as a nugget. You know, it took 22 months to get my license. And for 22 months, they had me running around everywhere. It seemed like every turn that I acquired what they want, they came back with some more stuff. Went on vacation, going through different, but like I went through plethora of barriers that would say quit. It would say get up. And I tell people, if you quit on anything that you say you wanted to do, you ain't really want to do it. See, I stopped quitting on what I said I wanted to. Now I quit on something that someone else is doing, but guess what? That's what they doing. But if I say I'm going to do it with them, then I'm not quitting. See, I no longer quit on me. And because I don't quit on me, I no longer look to blame others. Only time I looked into saying it was because of other things is when I quit. Whether I quit mentally first, emotionally, and then finally physically. So discipline is simply self-discipline. Spend less time trying to correct others and more time correcting yourself, and you'll get where you're trying to go.
Definitely. Love it. Keep going. His answers are
Yeah.
incredible, which we already know.
Listen,
We already
and
know.
for the
All right,
brothers on the block, for the brothers on the hanging out and the hustling and the things that nature, the reason people don't see where they want to be is because they spend a whole lot of time trying to fix, manage, and control others. I can give you a prime example, and this is a true story. During the hardship, during the hellish days, sitting next to with someone, great people, my man. I love everyone that I entertained or dealt with during hell, right? The people, I just love people. And I told him, like, listen, man, you need to go get some help. Now, the words I said was factual. I was toe up. He was toe up. But I'm talking to him, and he said something to me, and I'll tell anyone. And he said, it's easy to say that to someone, but it's hard for them to believe you if you're sitting right there with them. Stop telling people they need to improve their life while your life ain't improved. Stop telling people they need to do something different when you're still doing the same thing. So, in the aspect of that side of life, it's easy to tell, man, because we all like to think that someone is far worse than we are. There's not one person on this planet that's worse than I can be. To myself. And there's no one on this planet that can be as good as I can be.
yourself.
And once you realize that, you leave everybody else alone and you just do the things that put your life in a position to be of a good life. Like people say, man, I'm having a bad day. You know, I haven't had a bad day in 12 years. They said, man, ain't nobody trying to hear that. I said, let me tell you something. I'm not telling you I didn't experience no bad moments throughout the day, but I don't give nothing bad my whole day. I command my day. And I have a good day every day. So if you saying that you a good person, how can the day not be good if you in it? You must not be a good person then. I believe I'm a good person and I've been blessed with the day. The day is automatically good. That's the mindset. What it is that you are makes the contents of what your day will be. It's never about nobody else.
And what makes this, why I'm enjoying this so much, because it is a mindset shift. Everything we do, we talk about it all the time. It's mind, body, and soul. I've ran businesses before, and emotionally, I wasn't okay, and the business wasn't doing the best it could do, right? So it's always about getting on mind, being consistent, being disciplined. So these interviews help you with that. Like watching people who is having success in the business who have overcome so much. That's the purpose of this. Letting you know that whatever it is that you're going through, you can get by it. You can get past it. You can get through it and still be greatness walking. So I love it, Jamal. You are a prime example of that to us. We're going to keep going. We got a few more questions. We can't let you go. These answers are incredible. If somebody lost everything today, what are the first three things you think that they should do?
Okay. The very first thing, which for some is the hardest thing to do, but the very first thing to do is accept it. Get some acceptance with the fact that you lost everything. If there's no acceptance, there will be no change. In other words, without the acceptance, you're looking at potentially experiencing depression, anxiety, all these barriers that can generate from loss, because loss produces grief. The loss immediately produces grief. If I don't accept my loss, I'm not going to be able to experience the grief in motion. Grief has the ability to subdue us. So the first thing I would tell them is get acceptance and get it real fast. Once you get acceptance, you can hear the next thing that you would hear. What am I going to do now? See, once I get acceptance, I know that now something needs to take place now. Lost everything. Now, I can make a decision to wallow in the loss. I can make a decision to begin again. This is how I live my life. I know that no matter what happens in my life, if it's not favorable, I can make another decision. So I would have to, second thing to do is make a decision. If you need some wisdom, some wise counsel, this is what you talked about earlier. I call it wise counsel. Other people say advice. One of the beautiful things about losing everything is you're able to hear clearer.
Definitely.
You're able to hear clearer. And now, because now you're like, what am I going to do? So you're listening more for a way out of what I'm in. So in the decision, my decision was who I'm going to listen to. Very important. After the acceptance now, who am I going to listen to? I don't listen to folks who provide me with sympathy at those times. I listen to folks who provide me with empathy. See, empathy, it directs you out. Sympathy allows you to sit in. I'm not the one to tell someone it's okay to be sitting in pain. I empathize with the fact that you're in pain, but when I was in pain, as painful as it was, this is what I had to do to get better with the pain. I had to tiptoe this way, crawl that way, whatever I had to do, guidance, suggestive guidance. As a people, and just generally people, we gotta stop patting people on the back when they in the funk, when they in the pain. They say, meet a person where they at. I say, yes, meet them where they at, but you don't stay there with them because all you're doing is helping them, making them feel like it's all right to be in this space of pain. If it was all right to be in that space of pain, why is it affecting you the way it's affecting you? See, I had to learn these things. Pain stays as long as I choose to hold on to it. And my decision is the people that I'm getting wise counsel for is helping me stay in the space. Girl, homie, take as long as you need. Seriously, depression kills. Sadness kills. I love you, bro. I tell you, listen, I love you. I can't make you come out of it, but I surely can be a light, a pathway to just to let you know there is a way out. There is a way out. How do I know there's a way out? That's when you hear my testimony. I never share with anyone something I haven't endured. That's called advice that you heard, not advice that you know. And giving someone insight about something you heard, you can't validate that. So I don't do it. Many people gave me advice from what they think should be. Even in today, there's still folks, I love them all, who still try to tell me how things should be in my house and my things. And I look at them and I'm like, you ain't got a house. Never had a house, ain't did a house. Like, you telling me, like you said, your ideas of how a house would be if you had a house. I'm in the house, operating in the house, so I need to speak to someone who is in the house, operating in the house.
For sure.
They got evidence of what it is to potentially lose your home, the things that we go through. And they be like, listen, I prayed a lot, but then while I was praying, man, listen, I stopped wasting money here, stop doing it. They give you real insight. That's what empathy is a real knowledge and experience of that experience someone may be experiencing. So you and I both know what it is to lose everything. So when we share that with someone, we tell them like, I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I've experienced. And I tell people, I say, listen, my results may not be your results, but I can promise you the results will be different from the results you in.
Sure.
I don't know what the difference gonna be, but I know it ain't gonna be that. That's the second thing. And the third thing is don't settle for the loss. Accept the fact that you lost, but don't settle for the loss. I played sports, even in my chaos basketball. We all know that that was my sport of real play. And I lost games, but there's a losing a game, but I won many championships. But lost games, and the reason I won championships, listen, and while in prison, see, a lot of people don't know, a lot of those incarcerations. So to win a championship in prison is brutal. It's brutal, right? The rules and the play is a whole lot different. But The reason I was not because I was the baddest, the greatest player was because I wasn't quitting. We gonna keep playing. I love him. The name of the team I was on, we was called Bump and Grinds. That was all it was, and we just going. And I tell folks, because once you accept the loss, you're not afraid to do something different. Most people don't accept the loss. They keep sitting trying to figure out why, and you'll hear a lot of because of this, because of that. I tell folks, no, just assess what you did and what you didn't do and improve that. Just assess what you did and what you didn't do, because whatever anything else happened, you still played a part in it. You know, it's like the con game. Being out of New York, it's like the con game. My friends, and most of them, they get mad. I say, listen, you know a con can only work with someone who's trying to get something for nothing. You cannot con nobody who ain't trying to get something for nothing. It only works, the con game only works when you're trying to get something without the effort. So someone can promise you, I'm from 42nd Street back in the days. You wouldn't know the guy. You heard about it, but I physically know it. When they used to sell people boxes of rocks and newspapers as TVs and VCRs and all that other stuff, coming off of out of the Lincoln Tunnel. Selling a person a box with nothing but newspaper and rocks in it. People were buying them because they were like, yo, $30. Oh man, I could get this VCR for $30 or this DVD for $30, man. And at the time when they first came out, they was expensive. So they looked like I could get it for $30. Get home and open up the box, a whole box of newspapers. Now you want to come back and kill a guy. But why would you want to kill somebody? Because it wouldn't work if you wasn't trying to get something for nothing. So when you lose, you got to look at what area was I trying to get something for nothing? What area did I shortchange? Assess the part you played. Or just accept the fact that guess what? Bad things do happen to good people. Is it for the purpose of bad? No. There's something in their life they need to acquire. In the situation of when we went down and all that, we folk had to listen. We had to get out of the me syndrome and look at life from the we syndrome. The moment I start building for we, everything in every aspect, the growth was astronomical. The speed of the growth was unimaginable. Listen, interdependent. To interdependent and your harvest grew. We like to think life is about self. We like to think that. That's the self-centeredness of the human core. But when you live life with through self, with the mindset of providing life to those in life, your harvest grow. Your harvest grow. If the farmer only thought about himself, because I live around a lot of farms and they got acres. So they provide a plethora. A person who only thinks about themselves never grows. You can't grow further than the capacity of your own thoughts. So if I'm only thinking about me, that means I'm limited to what I'm thinking about me. When I think about the we, now I'm acquiring land. I'm reaching people all across the world. I'm supporting. You understand what it's so therefore everything that I'm pouring out is being poured back into me 10 times. Because instead of one farm, I'm talking to 10 farms. And that's really what I would tell them. I say, this time around, stop being selfish. Watch what life do for you.
I'm a testament to that. In my whole life, figuring out everything for myself. And the minute I started trying to figure out how to help other people, everything changed. So I can attest to that. So, all right, we got one more question, my brother. One more question. No, you got two more. I need to go to two more. What is something that you know today that you wish someone would have told you when you were 18?
I just said it. Don't be selfish. Because by the time I was 18, I was already engrossed so deep into the streets, right? I was facing my first prison bid. Yeah, at 18, I was talking to a judge, person in the road, right? Through behaviors, through actions, through survival, through survivalist mechanisms. That's why I don't survive no more. I straight live. Survive. The mindset of survival is what bring out the animalistic behaviors of us, because only animals survive. Humans live. You care how they put it up, man. When you think as a survivor, it means that the animalistic energy in you is out front. You wasn't created to survive. You was created to live. So I would definitely tell Them like, listen, don't be selfish. And I never really thought I was selfish. Because I've always loved people and always, I don't care what state I was in, the lowest state or whatever, I would always be the type that, listen, I'm low, but you can, and share, right? But the reality is, I was selfish because what was my motives? You said that my motives was I want you to be cool, want to be cool. Like my motives was never on it. My motives was always about me in the end. My motives without even in the end. In my book, Developing Self, I learned that developing self simply means cleaning out, cleaning out you from you. So I definitely would tell my 18 self, like, listen, don't be selfish. People like that means feelings, emotional, and all, because that's where my selfishness was. The woe is me syndrome. This is why when things didn't go my way, I become very irate, very angry. It's easy to see a selfish person. A selfish person who experiences something not going their way becomes very irate. They start thinking vindictive and malice thoughts. They start thinking of how they gonna get you back and all. That's a selfish person. Cause they forget that, listen, you done, people like to think they've never trespassed over people. Impossible. Impossible. Whether you aware or not aware of it don't mean you ain't do it. And I had to learn that. And that's the person to me that I'm aware that you can harm people knowingly and unknowingly, intentional and unintentional. And it's as simple as I call it the negative crush. When we were younger and kids, you know how you have a crush on the girl, the prettiest girl in the class, whatever the case may be. You have a crush on her, but don't have the courage or whatever to say something. You're sitting there mad at everybody talking to her. You got an attitude with dudes that ain't did nothing to you. Cause they in front of the girl that you got a crush on. You plotting on these dudes. I remember all that, man. You plotting on, you hating, as they say, you hating on these dudes. These dudes don't even know you like the girl, don't even know you like it. You harming them people because you wishing ill will on folks. It's a harm. We got to get out of that. I don't care about what nobody think. Listen, man up. Man, no. If someone comes up to you, because it happened to me, and then they have it come going, listen, man, you know that thing you said, that thing hurt me. And you be looking at them. I used to be somebody, man, if you don't get up out, I don't even know what you're talking about. But the reality is that you can hurt people just being yourself. And it's all in lack of understanding. But if they find enough courage to say it to you, one of the things I do in the here and now is I would like, listen, my bad. But can you please explain to me what it is that I did? Because I don't know what you're talking about. When you said this, and it's real simple. Listen, my intentions wasn't to hurt nobody, but to express what's going on. Because sometimes your story can trigger other people. You didn't mean to trigger everybody. You're just sharing you. And I consider everyone and everything that I do now. It doesn't stop me from being truthful, but I consider it. I embrace it. I no longer disconnect. None of it affects me. So this is what I feel everything, bro. Nothing consumes me, but I feel everything. And I want to feel everything because I come from a place not feeling nothing for a long time. I embrace being able to feel everything that I go through. That tells me I'm living.
Yeah.
Tells me I'm living, right? So that's what I would tell my 18-year-old self. Listen, don't be selfish.
I like that. I like the how we're breaking it down because now you have the mind, you got the mindset shift, and then now in terms of the insurance, right? So now the insurance side of it that we briefly spoke about, and your 22 months of not being able to get licensed and running around, and I know the entire story. What made you get into insurance in the first place?
Honestly, the idea of it was presented. I tell you, you got a month ahead of me, right? Like in it. Not just the idea. I knew about it, Sean. Like I know about it, but the idea of being able to help our communities. Like I grew up in these communities. I seen the devil addiction. I was a part of it. I seen the degradation. I seen the hardship. I seen and still know the conditions, the sadness, the grief, the hardship, even though it's countless of millions of dollars that flow through our communities, but the mindset of our communities doesn't value it. It's depleted. Like I always tell people, I don't come from a poor community. I come from a community that thinks poor, not is poor. And because we think poor, we live like we poor. So when the idea of listen, this can support and help so many, in our communities. That alone tied into what I was already doing. What in my deliverance and prior to, like I said, I do a lot of things from the homeless outreach, right? The narcotics outreach, right? You know, that's my life, right? From the ministry outreach. So I'm a community based, I'm a field general. Like I'm in the fields with everything I do. And I've seen that insurance supports those and help those that are home worrying about these folks that's out in there. Getting shit. Listen, a lot of people in our communities and a lot of loved ones pass away from stress and worry about their loved one. Things of that nature, right? So yeah, getting into the insurance was like, wow, God, I can help people understand financial literacy. I can help people understand that it's called life insurance for a reason. Although it protects you at a time of loss, it's created to support you while you live. Most people don't know that. They don't call it death insurance. And it just added to them like, okay, this is another area where I can see all people, but definitely within my community, not have to suffer after experiencing loss. One of the greatest things, why a lot of people don't bounce back, because after the loss, they have to live in the suffering of the loss. And that's financial, mentally, emotionally, mentally. Wow. They don't even get a chance to process the loss of the life loss. And this is why you see so many fiascos at funerals, so many walls being erected at a time of loss. It's not because they don't have no love for each other. People know what they got to face after the loved one is gone. And when you know you got to face a hardship, that don't feel too good. That don't feel too good, and it puts you in a real spiritual low. And insurance was something that I knew about. My grandmother had it and all that. I just didn't understand the magnitude of it. So that's what I learned in the process. Oh, this thing is bigger than just having something to bury somebody. You sharing it with me and me making a decision like, yeah, that's what I mean when you act discipline and all that. Once I made a decision like, yes, this is the final corner of my square as far as helping people. That's why I was able to go through 22 months without stressful nights or whatever. We talked all the time. He's like, bro, I don't know how you're doing it. It's what I want. Made a decision.
Woo! Sending my boy through loopholes.
I went through more to do the wrong thing. I used the same behaviors, bro. I just no longer use them from the ill will perspective. I use them in goodwill.
Yes, sir.
So, like I tell people, it put both of them produce, and it's not like you said it on. I think I listened to your first podcast. Like when I stopped being a hustler, but when you really look at skill sets of a hustler, those skill sets are still in you. You just do them from a focus point and goodwill. Centralized it, and that's really all. In goodwill, things grow and things stay. So that's what got me into insurance. Knowledge of it, opportunity presented, and the fact that it was something that helped me not have to think about me. It's selfish, right? It aligns with how I live to be selfless. Being in the insurance field aligned with that because the number one ethical rule is that it has to be in the best interest of not you, them.
All the time, every time.
It was perfect for me. It was perfect for where my life was. Gave me a chance to do something formidable, and it had to be the best thing for. Oh, it was a no-brainer from that point on. It was a no-brainer. The scripture says God will make room for your gifts. So, what I earned doing it is just the room for my gift. My gift is I do things for them. That's the gift, and He makes room for it. You call it passion into profit. Same thing. Your passion is helping as many people as you can. Same thing. And for not only for you and I, for all those who've done it before. A lot of people try to trick you into be like, oh, you could say that now that you're making money. No, I could say that because I believe in helping people. That's just the results of the field or the industry itself. But if you take it all away, I'm still going to be the person that cares about helping people. So, that's what it is. And that's what got me into it, bro.
Okay, super dope. So You are an excellent test taker. Excellent. What advice would you give someone about to take or studying for the exam, or one who maybe failed a few times and feel like I'm never going to get my license, right? What advice would you give them?
The greatest advice I could give them is remember your decision. You said you want to do this. So you remember your decision. Because if you remember that you said, in other words, don't break your own promise to yourself. Make today be the last day that you ever break a promise to self. And what that does, it puts you in a posture that whatever, if I need to study a little longer, if I need to get flashcards, right? If I need to, and now I'm able to take on some of the nuggets or some of the teachers that come from others who may have been in that position. Now I'm able to hear them say, listen, when you're taking this test, stop worrying about the time. Because it's a time test. Stop concerned, but they're able to hear you now because they already said, man, I'm not going to break a promise to myself. We so busy trying not to break a promise to someone else that we forget how many promises we done broke to self. I can make it real simple, man, in simple analogy, and people be laughing, but I be dead seriously. A simple breaking a promise to self is that time when you say, man, I ain't calling that chick no more. Find yourself dialing a number a couple of days. You just told yourself you wasn't calling her no more.
Yep.
That's a breaking of a promise that you made to yourself. So stop breaking. I would tell them, don't break a promise that you made to yourself. You said you wanted to do this. Most of the time is we don't count the cost. People don't count the cost before they join something, right? In other words, you know how you look at it, like I always use farm, but you know how you go to an orange farm with oranges and you can look into the farm, see all them big old oranges on the trees, and you like, man, love me some oranges, man. I'm gonna have me a bunch of right? Because you see the results. But you don't see the farm at 4 o'clock in the morning and the digging and the grilling and the tilling of the ground and the plotting. Listen, in the dry seasons and all, you don't see none of that. But that person made a promise to themselves that they was gonna have a farm. So that means they did even when they didn't want to do. Because a promise to self means that I have to fulfill what's necessary. I gotta do what's necessary. So that means if I failed the first time, I was just talking to a gentleman, one of my mentees, and he asked me, and his verbiage changed. When he failed, his verbiage changed. And I had to realign him. I said, no, we can't speak like that. I said, you will pass. You know how they thought maybe I didn't do that. I said, see, your verbiage is changing. Disappointments cannot change your verbiage. You can't allow disappointment to change your verbiage to self. If I say I got this, then I got this. Even with the disappointment, I still got this because that's going to catapult you to keep doing it until you get it. See, a lot of times we look at the fact that because it wasn't obtained this time means it's no longer obtainable. Where's the rule of that? If you say it's obtainable, then it's obtainable.
Period.
It's obtainable. And that's how you got to continue to go with yourself. Oh, I'm going to do this. Oh, I'm going to pass that. Each time I don't pass, I assess what area did was I a little weaker, right? And then I study that, yeah, right? Like I increase. Stop worrying about how many times you got to do something till you get it. You people don't understand. People like basketball. You know how many free throws people take from the time of junior high school all the way up and to get to the NBA? You know the type of work and the type of things, and you know how many people don't get chosen, put in the same work, but wasn't selected in the draft, didn't catapult. Kobe Bryant said that they used to say, and I love Kobe, man, listen, he said, man, we going out to eat, he going to the gym, because he said he's going somewhere. I'm going to get where I'm going. So if I didn't pass the test the first time, I didn't say, let me go hang out and get drunk. No, I'm going where I need to go so that I can pass the thing that I said I want to get. Discipline. And I always tell them, like, listen, if it changes, it's because you change, your thoughts change and your verbiage change. Therefore, your trajectory change. Not because you didn't pass the test. Millions before you didn't pass the first time. Some of the greatest people in insurance didn't pass the first time. I'm just one of those folks who pass things on it, but I don't know. That's a gift from God. I don't question it. I was the class clown in school, but I would get 100 on the test on Friday all the time. That's a gift. I'm not in it because I'm smarter. It's just a gift. I just retain information. I can become really as technical as you if that was my passion. But you like, you got to become more tech savvy. Well, I'm like, yeah, okay. I kind of like my dinosaur. I like to keep a little bit of my dinosaur. I do. To be
Okay.
honest with me, I like to keep a little bit of my dinosaur.
Right.
And that's just really all it is, that I've been blessed to retain information. So because I can retain it so well, it's easy to regurgitate it when needed, when tested. And that's not everyone's story, but it can become. God has given every person a gift. You won't know what your gift is until you fail at something. Failing exposes your gift. So a lot of people don't understand the fail is the catapult to success. It pushes you, it centralizes you, it causes you to focus on that which you said you want to be.
Keep going. So you say all that to say keep going. Love the message. Why did you start? Nobody forced you to do it. Put in the time, put in the effort. I love the analogy with Kobe Bryant, right? While your friends is, no, you need to be studying. It's not time for this. Accomplish that small goal that's going to open up so many other doors for you. I'm going to share something. I'm going to piggyback on you. I didn't want to interrupt because this is incredible. But when you was kind of speaking about like opportunity, right? The circle I'm in now, and the opportunity was presented based off of my skill set, right? You don't just get in rooms because your name is respect, like Joe, right? Mike. I didn't just get in a room because my name was Link. I got in a room because I was good enough at something that somebody saw something, and then now I'm in the room, and now my character, my integrity, and that's the things that keep you in the room, right? Your talents may get you in the room, your integrity that keep you in the room. So a lot of times people are like, how do I get connections like that? What are you good at? What are you elite at? What can you bring to the table? There's things that people have to tap into. So making sure my message to whoever's listening to this, if you follow us, I say it all the time. I think it's just always important. I'm going to keep repeating it, definitely weekly. Making sure that you're pouring into yourself. There is nothing more important. How do I get this? How do I make that? How do I, by pouring into yourself, by becoming 10 times better at whatever you want to be great at. You want to be great at sales. You want to be great at relationships. Like the same way I seek out, I used to like Google, where can I get Madden from? Right? What's the NBA scores? What's Taylor Swift doing? Right? Let me see Ray Lewis dance. The same way I can search for things filling me with entertainment is the same things I can search for to fill myself with more knowledge, become more knowledgeable, become better at whatever it is that I'm doing. So that's definitely important. And the opportunities, they're going to open up. The doors are going to open up for you based on how good and great you are. You cannot hide greatness. When you're great at something, it's going to open up doors for you. Right? So yeah, thank you for that. So our last question is, if anyone is on the fence about joining the Legacy Link, what would be your advice to them?
If someone was on the fence with joining Legacy Lake, my advice to them would, and this is real, my advice with them would be to assess the last time you was on the fence with something and count how many regrets you have about it. See, because the number of regrets will make you stop playing fence games. And through personal experience, there's no greater sadness in my life when I look through my life than the regret areas. The areas where regret is a part of it. And my failures, those are not sad to me because those was decisions. So I tell people this, decisions are meant to be made decisively. A lot of times we struggle because they're not made decisively. As you said, opportunity. See, opportunity don't wait for nothing. You gotta grab it by the horns and ride that thing. Opportunity is kinetic. That means it's forever in motion. It's not an Uber. It's not a taxi cab. It's none of that. You have to, as it's passing, you gotta stick your hand out, lock on, and go, because it does not stop. So I would tell them, like, If you found us, if you touched us, if you embarked on us, then you need to become us. Because whatever's happening or whatever's going on in your life catapulted you to, let me see what that's about. We didn't make you, no, whatever's going on in your life made you say, let me see what that's about. So I don't need to ask you what's going on in your life. Whatever's going on in your life led you to make the decision to say, let me see what that's about. You got your own evidence already. And when you get a chance to see Legacy Link and evolve and the opportunity and the cohesiveness and the growth and the love, most people who don't succeed or fail to join is because fear. This is what I give people. You can't change nothing that happened yesterday, nor can you change anything about tomorrow. Everything that you will ever do in your life can only happen in the day that you're in. Period.
President.
Period. So that simply means that guess what? And I'm like this in all areas of my life. If I wasn't a part of the things that happened to you in your yesterdays, I should not be subjected to any of the ill will of that. I had to learn how to do that. I had to learn how to stop holding other people that I newly meet accountable to anything that happened in my yesterday. Once I was able to do that, now doors and rooms and places that you into can be felt, can be appreciated, can be enjoyed. Most people who don't succeed in this simple application of success. One of the things I love about Legacy Link is that it's a simple application for success. It just requires your commitment to do it. But it's really a simple application for success. Most people don't trust simplicity. They're looking for complex. But life is simple. We just complex the heck out of it up in here. You can't compare Legacy Link to nothing you've been involved in. I'll tell them in a minute. You can't compare us to nothing. It's only one Legacy Link. Listen, there's only one Gerber, right? There's only one F&G, right? Listen, regardless of similarities, you can't compare us to your experience nowhere else. When you do that, you cheat yourself out of getting the experience of the new. That's relationships in it. That's a nugget for you folks if you're listening. You don't get a chance to appreciate the new relationship because you're comparing it to the last. So when you do that, neither party in the relationship ever has a chance to really know each other. They come in comparing each other to their yesterdays. And we try to create you to not be like our yesterdays. So we come in trying to ultimately change each other before we even get to know each other. So that's what I would tell someone on the fence. Listen, before you try to change us or create us to be something, get to know us. And the only way you can get to know us is you got to leave everybody else where they was at because they ain't here. And that's a real nugget, man. Like, listen, they ain't here.
Sound advice. Yeah, sound advice. I've known you again for over 35 years. The beautiful part about you is the bond that we've created, our friendship. You've never disrespected me. You've always been kind. You've never called me out my name. And I'm far from perfect. I've made a million and one mistakes, and I don't blame it on my circumstances. Yeah, might have had a tough upbringing, but I always pray to be better, right? I started listening to Jim Rohn. I stopped praying for things to get better, right? I was to start praying for me to be better. And your kindness, your wisdom, your love, your support. One thing that people don't know is when we started with the insurance company, we started with another insurance company, and then we went and branched out on our own. It's like you were working with me, brother, and we wasn't making anything. And there was times, in a sense, you were working with me and working for us, working for the company. Is I need to do this. I Jamal, so you got to do this. So we're both working and grinding. And I might have been making pennies, but there was a point where you were making nothing. And every time I looked, you were still there. You were still present. And more than the money, man, sometimes, especially being a black man, like just looking for that support. I have all type of abandonment issues. Yeah, I feel like people are taking advantage of me. Like, why are they here? Why are they hanging out? Is he looking for something? Do he need something? I'm just feeling like people have been just taking from me my whole life that kind of developed. But when I got around you, I get around Storm, I get around Charles, I get around people like that. Like I'm able to just I'm just able to be, man. And that's the best thing that you do for the company. That's the best thing that you do for me. And this is the best thing that you can be for the world. You are a testament to strength, to ambition. That 22-month, I can't wait for them to read the book, to hear that story. That is beyond incredible, because it's not, oh no, we just wait 22 months and then we'll give you a decision. No, you got to drive here, fly there, drive back, go get that, paying out money, and you're not making any money. And it's like almost everybody on earth would have given up, right? And like, including me, hearing your story, bro. And I don't mind being vulnerable and saying that. And I don't quit. But when I hear what you went through, is like, bro, that's, I'm like, you know why? Because I can do something else, right? And me and you are similar in that aspect. We can do anything, bro. Anything we put our time, energy, and effort into, at worst, we're going to be good at it. At worst, we're going to be good at it. We ain't going to be elite at everything, but at worst, no matter what we devote our time, we're going to be good at it. So for me, that's a gift and a curse. And the beautiful part about you is we are the same in that aspect. So in order for you to have the strength to keep going, knowing this is what you want, knowing that you can put this energy in something else that you don't have to work so hard for, is incredible, man. It's a testament of pouring into yourself. It's a testament of pouring into God, a promise that you made. And it's also a testament to the community, bro. Like when you start realizing that it's bigger than you, now you can keep going. When your story was developing, it was about me. It's about me. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to work. I'm trying to hustle. Now, if the same thing happens, and if I had to go through 22 months, now I could do 22 months, the same way you could do another 22 months, or another 2 years, or another 5, or whatever we have to do, because it's bigger than us, right? And I love that, man. We appreciate you, brother. You are the heart and soul of the company, bro. And if anybody don't know that, know this. Know that if this man wasn't a part of this company, not 99% sure, not 99.9% sure, I am 100% sure this company would have dissolved, because we cannot move and operate without our heart, bro. Bro, you can be brain dead and the heart still pumping. It's still moving. Once the heart stops, it's over. It don't matter what the brain is doing, bro. The heart stops, it's over. Bro, I love you as a brother, as a friend, as a mentor. If you don't know this, I want you to say this to yourself every day. I'm sure you know it, but I'm going to share this anyway. You need to tell yourself that you are incredible. You are amazing. You are resilient. And I'm giving you confirmation to do that, right? Not that you need it. I'm just sharing how I feel, because men like you need to be cherished. Men like you need to be protected, because there's not a lot. Like when I started losing everything, a lot of people started, nobody checking on me. People was like, bro, I was like, I'm dissolving, bro. And you here trying to, like, some way, somehow still pick me up. And I didn't want to pick myself up. And it's so easy to, like, I'm only helping somebody who's helping themselves. If they don't want it, nah, I'm still going to pour into you, because I see what you are. I see what we're capable of doing. I know this is just a season for you. This is not your life. And in order for you to put that time and effort into somebody, that means you have to see them first. And you saw me when other people didn't. So for that, I am eternally grateful, brother. I love you. I appreciate your time. This was incredible. And in God's will, I will see you very soon. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, man. Love you, bro.
Love you, man, for sure.